Welcome to Boiling Spring Lakes, the campus of South Brunswick High School, for tonight's ATMC TV High School Football Game of the Week. And Jay, what a game it is this week at Jack Campbell Stadium at South Brunswick. The new Hanover High School Wildcats have made the trek from Wilmington to BSL to take on the undefeated South Brunswick Cougars. Jay, when's the last time we had a South Brunswick-New Hanover game? Going into it where South, I don't even know if they're favored, but had a legitimate chance to pull off a victory. This is a really good South Brunswick team. Surprised a lot of people early in the year.
Well, clearly, Sam, they are the surprise team in the area thus far, off to a great 4-0 start. And listen, they're doing it on both sides of the ball. They're scoring nearly 35 points a game. But as usual, they got a rugged defense, and right now they've only given up 5 points a game this season. They come into tonight's contest off a conference win last week at Topsail, 35-14. And clearly, this is their best start in years, Sam. And as you said, they've got a really, really good football team.
And Jay, New Hanover, it's like so many other teams in the area, it's been a kind of a wacky start to the season. New Hanover with some schedule changes and played all non-conference games. This will be their first Mid-Eastern Conference game. But the Wildcats off to a 1-2 start. And we talked about this early in the week in preparing for tonight's game. It's been a little bit of a mixed bag for the Wildcats and head coach Dylan Dimick.
Well, it has, Sam. But if you look at what these kids have gone through over the last, 6 months, take it back, they've had clearly a very challenging first 5 weeks of the season. I think football, as much as any sport, really likes to get into a routine. And these poor kids have not had any good routine whatsoever. They started out the conference season or the year with a shutdown due to COVID. Then they had the tragic school shooting, and then they had another COVID shutdown. This time it was the opposition. So and they only played 4 games in the spring. So they really haven't had much of a chance to do anything on the football field. But they're trying to get things started, and no better place than against an undefeated South Brunswick team tonight.
And, Jay, what's really interesting in talking to some area coaches, several of them have told me continuity and rhythm, and about how important it is, and specifically on the offensive line. So I think a lot of these teams that we've seen that have been a bit up and down offensively, and they're just trying to get 2 straight weeks of practice in without a shutdown or something slowing the season down. And I think as the season wears on, assuming that they can get some practices in and Monday through Thursday and then play on Friday night and do it all again the next week, I think you'll see some of these teams, especially offensively, find their footing.
Well, and that's my point about the lack of routine for New Hanover this year. And look, they got a great head coach in Dylan Dimick, and of course the Cougars do as well with Rocky Lewis. So they'll be matching it up here tonight.
And we're going to have all the action for you right here on ATMC TV. Stay with us for the opening kickoff. And we are almost set for the opening kickoff between the 4-0 South Brunswick High School Cougars and the visitors from Wilmington, the New Hanover High School Wildcats. Jay, who are some names to watch tonight from each of these teams?
Well, South Brunswick has the leading rusher in the area, and number 3, Danny Parker, a 5'9", 180-pound senior. I love that they list him as an athlete because, indeed, he is. He'll play running back. He'll play defense. And he does a really, really top-notch job on both sides of the ball. Leads the area in rushing, as I said, 492 yards, 8 scores. They got a sophomore quarterback, Jamison Prince, who's really coming into his own this season. He's thrown for nearly 400 yards and 4 scores. And the real interesting stat with him, he's only thrown 1 interception, so he protects the ball. defensively, they got some linebackers here at South Brunswick. Shelton Bocook, 6'2", 215, senior, 44 total tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, and 38. Garrett Frazier, 6'2", 220, junior linebacker, 32 total tackles, 11 tackles for a loss, and 7 sacks. They'll be challenged here tonight against a New Hanover team that's led by Alan Demick, the senior quarterback, 352 yards through the air, a couple of scores. Devin Pelham is their leading receiver with 8 catches, and Brethen Barnhill and Caden Morton combined for about 250 yards on the ground and a couple of scores.
New Hanover will kick off to South Brunswick, so we'll get a good look at Danny Parker and Jamison Prince early in the ball game, and we are off from Bowling Spring Lakes. A directional kick, high, fielded by Mason Howlett over on the New Hanover sideline. Bulls over a New Hanover defender, and then he's hit out of bounds, and 2 flags fly high in the September sky here in BSL. It's going to be a personal foul late hit against New Hanover. So instead of the drive starting at the 25-yard line, the ball will be moved out to the South Brunswick 40, where the Cougars will start 1st and 10.
Yeah, and for a team that has played so well this year, and of course I'm talking about South Brunswick, they don't need a lot of help. They'll take it, but you know, an unfortunate penalty for the Wildcats gives the Cougs real good field position to start this first drive of the night.
Jay, it didn't take long for us to have our first flag officially 5 seconds into the game.
Yeah.
A special teams blunder by the Wildcats. So Jamison Prince drops back to pass, finds his open receiver. That is number 17, Michael Shrewberry, the 5'10" junior wide receiver. Prince to Shrewberry from the 40 out to the 47, a gain of 7 yards to set up a 2nd and 3.
Yeah, he had 11 catches coming into tonight's game, 131 yards and 3 touchdown scores. So Mike Shrewsbury having a real solid junior year.
Intended receiver couldn't haul it in, so South Brunswick tries to keep it in the air on 2nd down, but the pass falls to the turf incomplete, setting up a 3rd and 3 ball near midfield.
Yeah, Jordan Davis was the intended receiver that time, and Jordan's listed at 6'2". He couldn't have caught that if he had been 8'2", so Prince throws that one away.
Prince in the shotgun, 3rd and 3, under pressure. Oh, Jay, very nearly picked off by linebacker Gunnar Robinson.
Ooh.
And, Jay, I believe it, Robinson comes up with that catch. It's 6 for the Wildcats. But he couldn't quite corral it, and 2 incomplete passes on 2nd and 3rd downs stall the South Brunswick drive and bring on the punt team.
And interesting, for a series of downs for South, they come out throwing the football 3 straight times.
You know, they spread them out, didn't they, partner?
They did. Robinson almost came up with a pick 6.
Good punt by South Brunswick. Fair caught right at the 20-yard line. And, Jay, the Robinson's hands were a lot more sure receiving that punt than they were on that 3rd down pass attempt that he nearly intercepted. But New Hanover forces a 3-and-out on the Wildcats' first defensive possession. And now we'll get our first look at the Wildcat offense.
Well, again, they're led by Dimick, the senior quarterback. 352 yards through the air thus far this year, a couple of scores, 1 interception.
Demick hands it off on 1st down. Wildcats had a crease there on the offensive line, but the ball carrier, number 26, help me out, partner, is that Caden Morton?
That's Caden Morton. He's one of the leading rushers on the team, Sam, and believe he was brought down by number 3, Danny Parker, the athlete we talked about, to start the game tonight.
And, Jay, after falling behind early in last week's game, the Cougars, I think, scored 28 unanswered points against
Topsail had them 14, I think.
Yeah, right, against Topsail. Another running play on 2nd and about 7. A minimal gain across the 25 to the 26. So now New Hanover faces a 3rd and 4 on its first possession. Ball is marked maybe just shy of the 26. The Wildcats need the 30-yard line for a first down.
And it was Devin Pelham on the carry. He's their leading receiver with 8 catches on the year, but showing the ability to run the football too. Got some big guys on that New Hanover offensive line, Sam. Luke Caldwell, 74, big man. And something happened that time.
Jay, it looked like the snap caught Dimick a little off guard, and nobody on the offensive line moved. So I'm not sure if the ball was snapped before it was supposed to be. It'll officially go down as a sack for the South Brunswick defense as Dimick caught it. It kind of looked like people were waiting around for a whistle of some sort, but the play stands. It's a loss of about 7 yards, and will set up a 4th and 11 from the 19.
Ben Novotny punts. He's a left-footed kicker.
A high, short kick, and it takes a South Brunswick bounce. Ball was down at the 41-yard line, so going to be excellent starting field position for the Cougars here, well inside New Hanover territory. And Jay, both teams' defense able to force a 3-and-out on the initial offensive possessions.
Yeah, and of course South aided a little bit by that play that kind of got messed up there
Busted
at the
play,
end.
if you will.
But let's see what the Cougars can do. Like as we mentioned earlier, their first possession of the game, 3 straight passes. There's a team that can and likes to run the football, featuring the leading rusher in the area, number 3, Danny Parker. Expect to see him get going on this possession.
Prince has got an open receiver. I believe that's Abrams. Ball's out, partner. Abrams had the catch, was near the line to gain, and had it stripped. It was recovered by New Hanover's number 32, Craig Morton III, the junior safety. And boy, instead of a 9-yard gain to set up a 2nd and 1 at about the 32-yard line, Abrams, the junior tight end, couldn't hang on to it. Fumble was on the ground, and New Hanover had about 3 or 4 guys who looked like they could have jumped on it there, but it was Morton III with the fumble recovery, and now New Hanover's offense comes back on the field.
Yeah, tough break for South. That was a well-thrown ball by Prince, but Abrams just couldn't hang on. Pretty good hitting there in the defensive secondary.
That's going to be a flag against the Wildcats. Dead ball, false start. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. And Jay, in the conversation I had with, the younger Coach Hickman, my brother, Sunday night, he said it's one thing, if you're on offense and you can't block the other team, or they're just so good you can't move the ball. But he said when you shoot yourself in the foot and stop yourself, those are really frustrating. Like the 3rd down play New Hanover had on its first possession, just a complete mix-up, a busted play. They kind of force their own punt, if you will. That handoff to number 26, Caden Morton. He was stopped after a gain of, Jay, we'll call it 2 yards to set up a 2nd and 13. Ball is at the 29-yard line.
Well, Sam, Brett said it much more eloquently than would I, but, we say this at least 10 times a game every week. Football games are lost, not won.
Yep.
They're lost principally because of mistakes like we've seen a couple of times tonight. Used to be able to do that against South. I'm not so sure this year's team you can.
Screen, Jay. Pass was a little bit high, but intended for number 22, Mason Shan, the sophomore running back. It was a little high, but Shan could not quite corral it. Looked like he was going to the turf at about the 33 anyway, but instead of about a 4, maybe 5-yard completion, now New Hanover's facing a 3rd and 13 from its own 29, and an obvious passing situation, but we'll see what they do.
And Sam, this is a South Brunswick defensive team that can bring the heat. They can really pressure the quarterback.
And New Hanover realizes that, so they move the pocket. Dimick throws it over to the far sideline. Got a man, but a sure tackle over there near the 30-yard line. That was number 24, Brendan Hoagland, the senior outside linebacker, who brought down the receiver 2 yards on the play to the 31-yard line. But New Hanover 2 3-and-outs. That'll bring on the punt team again for the Wildcats.
Yeah, pressure forced Demick to throw the ball kind of awkwardly, and the nice open field tackle by Hoagland. So South in a good position to get the ball back in excellent field position again.
A better kick this time from New Hanover, fielded cleanly by number 5, Bishop Brown, but he was slung to the turf at the 41-yard line. So, Jay, South Brunswick, this will be South Brunswick's third offensive possession. They've started one drive at their own 40, another at New Hanover's 41, and now another one at their own 41. So some excellent starting field position. Head coach Rocky Lewis and company trying to cash in with 7.5 minutes left in the opening frame.
Good special teams coverage that time by New Hanover's Cornelius Allen. And let's see if they're going to try to run the ball this possession, Sam. I keep calling for it.
Couple high snaps on the last
last
2 plays. There's number 3, Jay. You've been calling for him. Danny Parker, horse collar tackle. So Parker slung out of bounds at the 47-yard line after a gain of 12. The 15 additional yards are going to make it a 27-yard play, and the Cougars are going to have a 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line of the Wildcats.
Yeah, Sam, you know, that's probably at least the 3rd penalty, and then a couple other misplays by New Hanover here early in the first quarter. And my point, what I tried to make earlier, was there have been years where you could come in here against South Brunswick and play kind of sloppy and win.
And leave with a win.
I'm not sure this is one of those years because these kids are good, and their confidence is just really building. And they got a stud to hand the ball off to, and Danny Parker.
Prince throws the screen out. Oh, very nearly picked off by number 32. That was Craig Morton III. Jay, almost his second takeaway of the night. Morton III recovered the Basil Abrams fumble on the previous South Brunswick possession, and then that pass that was intended for Shrewberry went off his hands and nearly picked off. But incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 32.
I remember when Craig Morton's father played for the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah?
You think that's the same one?
Maybe the second?
Okay, I don't know. I doubt it.
New Hanover in the all-whites tonight with the black lids. South Brunswick, gray breeches, navy blue jerseys, and the Carolina blue lids. That out pass intended for Abrams is caught. Still on his feet. Look at the big man go inside the 15. Brought down at the 14. An 18-yard strike from Prince to Abrams. And South Brunswick threatening to break this scoreless tie midway through the first quarter.
You know, Jamison Prince is a 10th grader, a sophomore, but, you know, he's played more football this year than a lot of seniors have their senior year, right, coming into their senior year. This kid throws the ball real well. Nice grab that time by Abram. He had 7 coming in to tonight's game, make it 8. And 1st and 10, and they've only had 1 running play in their 3rd possession. Make it 2.
Another run. This time South Brunswick works its way inside the 10-yard line to the 9. That was Danny Parker on the carry, a gain of 5 yards to set up a 2nd and 5.
You know, we talk about some big guys for the New Hanover offensive line. There's some big guys up front for South, too. 68, I believe it is, Trey Ingram, if I'm seeing it right, 305 pounds. 54, Danzel Bernard. 280 in the interior of that line. You got some big guys.
The New Hanover DB signaling towards South Brunswick receiver Jordan Davis over here on the near sideline at the bottom of your screen, kind of maybe out of your picture. But it was a false start penalty, so that negates the 5 yards Parker got on 1st down and backs up the Cougars to the 14-yard line where it'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, the Cougs got to, make sure that that they play solid too.
Parker again makes a couple of guys miss. Boy, Jay, he nearly got out of that whole mess. Broke a couple tackles and lunged across the 10 to the 9. So a 3rd and 5 from the 9-yard line coming up for the Cougs.
Well, the leading rusher in the area, now over 500 yards on the year, averaging 5.3 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns 3 times this season. He has gone over 100 yards rushing in a game. So tough kid.
It's going to be a handoff. Boy, New Hanover was ready for that one. Linebacker number 40, Michael Jacobs, met Parker in the backfield and knocked him down at about the 12-yard line.
Yeah,
11-yard line, loss of 2, setting up a 4th and 7 from the 11. And South looks like they're going to attempt to kick Noah Harrell.
Yeah, he has not made a field goal this year, 0 for 1, 14 for 17 points after. But Harrell's got a real good foot. Not going to get a chance to see it here.
A botch snap dropped at the 15-yard line, and New Hanover bends but doesn't break, partner, as South Brunswick got the ball inside the 10-yard line but couldn't execute the field goal attempt on 4th and 7. So the Wildcats dodge a major bullet there. Looked like South Brunswick was almost certainly going to take at least a 3-0 lead, if not a 6 or 7-0 lead. Instead, New Hanover gets the ball back inside its own 20, and we're still scoreless. 4:48 left in the first.
And a different quarterback in the game now for New Hanover, number 8, Isaac Moore.
Isaac Moore takes a direct snap and runs through the middle of the New Hanover offensive line. Some good blocking there up front by New Hanover, and Moore was able to gain 5 yards and set up a 2nd and 5 from the 21.
Moore, a pretty big kid at 6'3", 205. Sam, he's thrown 7 for 27, not a lot of tosses this year, 133 yards and a score. He's rushed for 58 yards and 1 touchdown. He's also caught 3 passes for 15 yards. So he does a lot of different things for the Wildcats, and going to see if he can get something going offensively from the quarterback position.
Boy, Jay, and he is a big kid, isn't he? He's listed on the roster at
205.
6'3", 205.
Yeah,
That's a little bit different from Demick's 5'10", 185.
Yep. There's some size out there for the Wildcats, that's for sure.
Boy, look at this formation. All 3 receivers.
Going to run this time? I think so. No, not.
Play action. Moore going to keep it.
Good.
And Jay, somehow he picked up positive yardage, but, man, you just got to love the way that South Brunswick defense swarms to the football. I mean, Moore, look, he had a little bit of space there, and all of a sudden, all you saw were Carolina blue helmets bringing him to the turf.
They only give up 5 points a game, Sam, and one of the kids who's had a really nice year, number 55, 65, Demarius Wise, was doing some chasing down on that play. He's going to come out for a play. But
6'2", 285.
They are strong. They are good.
Boy, Rashad McNeil, 61, who's on that defensive line, 6'2", 250, also a real nice-looking kid.
Big
third and 4
play
for New Hanover. Moore takes the snap, and Jay's going to be brought down about 3 yards shy of the marker, and we've got a penalty flag down right near where the ball was snapped. It is a holding penalty against the Wildcats. So, Jay, if you're Rocky Lewis, you're probably declining this one and sticking with the 4th down result?
I would think so,
Yep.
Sam, because they're clearly in a punting situation. That's a great play by Harrell that time. From
open field tackling.
Yeah, it's linebacker position. So,
Jay, I know it's still early, but fair to say New Hanover is well out of sorts offensively?
so far, yeah, and listen, but they've come within, a couple of drops of having a
defensive touchdown.
Defensive touchdown. So, they may have to kind of weather this while the offense gets untracked.
New Hanover set to punt again. Angle kick toward the New Hanover sideline. Parker's got Jay's got some room. New Hanover did a good job keeping Parker from making it back toward the home sideline where he had some additional blockers. But about a 12-yard punt return, and Parker once again sets up South Brunswick with field position either right near midfield or on New Hanover's side of the field. Yet New Hanover's defense has done a good job keeping South Brunswick out of the end zone and off the scoreboard in the game's first 8 or 9 minutes.
Another nice special teams play by Cornelius Allen. That's 2 times this evening for New Hanover. Allen's made a good kick coverage play.
Prince throws it
Ooh.
over the head of number 17, Michael Shrewberry. So an incomplete pass on first down will set up a 2nd and 10. Ball is at the 47-yard line of the Wildcats.
Tim, I bet Jamison Prince has thrown the ball, 10 times already here tonight? On the year.
Yeah, I mean, close to it, if not.
It's probably above his average, but clearly that's something they want to do, establish that pass and get this kid running, Parker.
Parker on the handoff. He is stopped for a short gain of 1 yard. And, Jay, I've heard this kid's name mentioned in the media and by some opposing coaches. New Hanover middle linebacker number 40, Michael Jacobs.
Oh, he's a stud.
He is. He's been active here early. Made a big stop on the 3rd down run at around the 10-yard line on Danny Parker, and he was the first one to meet Parker in the hole there.
Yeah, leads the Wildcats in tackles with 36.
3rd and 8. Prince is going to take a one-on-one shot. Very nicely played over there on the far sideline by the New Hanover defensive back. I couldn't tell if it was Robinson or number 20, Zacoby Rhodes. Yeah, it was Rhodes, 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he did have a little help from Robinson that time as 17. Michael Shrewsbury, the intended receiver. So, once again, South unable to move the ball through the air, so sets up the punting situation for Harrell.
Jay, did you notice there on that one-on-one pass attempt that Rhodes got his head turned around and found the football and made a play on it? You know, a lot of times, particularly in high school football, you know, they keep their back turned and it draws a pass interference penalty. But about the ball midway through the air, Rhodes turned his head around, found it, and then broke it up. So an excellent play by Rhodes, the senior defensive back. That was pretty textbook how he defended that one.
Excellent defense, Sam. And see if the Wildcats now can kind of settle down and get some continuity going offensively. See if Moore going to stay in the game as quarterback, or maybe they go back to Demick. Nope, well, who is it?
Looks like Demick under center.
Yeah, under center.
Tall sweep to the right side.
Way.
Boy, look at that defense just swarm. Number 26, Caden Morton, the ball carrier, and he was dropped at the 26-yard line. So he did pick up 2 yards, but boy, New Hanover not finding a whole lot of running room here, and I haven't really tried maybe 1 or 2 passes unsuccessfully.
Many. Parker really did a great job of setting the edge that time, forced that play, and then, as you said, the great pursuit by South brought the ball carrier Morton down.
1:50 left in the opening frame. This time Morton's got some running room. Oh, and he ran the running room was right into the official there at about the 35-yard line, but Morton all the way from the 26 to the 39-yard line, New Hanover's best offensive play of the night, 13 yards. And, Jay, what I believe is New Hanover's first down.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sam, and Morton had a little bit of room up the interior of that offensive line. The sophomore, 5'11", 165 pounds, came into this evening's game with a 140 yards rushing, but you can add some to that now.
1st and 10 at the 39. Boy, Morton again, heavy dose of Caden Morton. He's trying to find the edge, and an excellent play by number 5, Bishop Brown. Boy, Jay, South Brunswick's roster is just littered with players who have been on this roster since 2015.
Like 30,
I'm certain of
30
it.
years,
Bishop Brown, Danny Parker, McNeil.
Yeah, I know.
Who else do
Harold,
we have?
you
Noah
know,
Harrell,
you know.
Garrett Frazier. I mean, it seems like some of
Howlett,
these kids,
you know,
Mason Howlett.
You know.
Man, great call. It just feels like they have been here since you and I started doing games.
And you know what? It's probably one reason why they're being so successful this year.
Great point.
Oh, nice block up front.
Morton trying to get to the edge, and he's got there, but a great open field tackle. Guess who?
Yeah.
Danny Parker, South Brunswick's two-way star, but a 16-yard gain by Morton across midfield. So New Hanover rather has crossed midfield for the first time tonight, and the Wildcats have a 1st and 10 at the 49.
Again, some big guys up front. 74 is Caldwell. We mentioned his name. 327. Case English, 250. I think they got more big guys up there than that. So I'm missing some. I know 70. English is 73. The right tackle
74.
is Caldwell. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, they are bunched up this time.
Boy, and a good block over here, Jay. I got to single him out. What is his number? I've got my eyes on him. I just can't see the number. It was an excellent block. 33 is the number. Jerron Frost, he's listed as a defensive end, clearly also plays tight end. He had an amazing block on the edge on the right side of the line. That just created a lane as wide as Highway 17 for Morton to run through.
Just collapsed that whole left side of the South Brunswick defensive line.
Jay, that may have been the final snap of this opening frame. Yep, New Hanover head coach Dylan Dimick just holding both hands up toward his offensive huddle, and that is going to do it for the opening 12 minutes of game action. Feels like South Brunswick had a couple chances in the first quarter to take early control, but now it's New Hanover on the march trying to break a scoreless tie. We will be back for the start of the second quarter on your Game of the Week. We're back for the start of the second quarter. New Hanover on the march. They've kept it on the ground with number 26, Caden Morton, and the Wildcat offensive line paving the way for the tailback. Wildcats with a 1st and 10 at the South Brunswick 39. Easily New Hanover's best offensive possession of the night, partner.
Well, be getting to get a little of that continuity we talked about, Sam. And
good
better way to run the ball.
On the snap.
Yeah, Demick showing some athleticism on that snap.
That was a good play on the interior defensive line. 65, Demarius Wise, the junior defensive lineman, stopped Morton there, but not before Morton could gain 3 yards to set up a 2nd and 7 from the 36. Jay, what's different about this possession than New Hanover's first 2 or 3?
Well, they haven't shot themselves in the foot, Sam. Haven't
right.
made any penalties, and they've just done a much better job of getting up over that ball and winning that battle at the line of scrimmage. They're taking it to the Cougs right now.
2nd and 7, Dimick under center.
Nice.
Oh, a good pitch and catch from Alan Dimick to number 14, Devin Pelham. Jay, you talked about Pelham in the intro. He is arguably New Hanover's most dangerous playmaker.
Yeah, 8 catches coming into this game, 210 yards, a couple of scores, and good-sized kid at 6 foot, 185 pounds, senior, and boy, nice delivery that time by Demick. He rolled out right, spotted Pelham, and delivered a strike. Good play for the Wildcats.
Yep, 15 yards and a first down to the 21-yard line of South Brunswick. It's going to be Morton again. He's got room around the right side. A good tackle over there by number 3, Danny Parker. But Morton, with a lot of running room, got all the way inside the 15-yard line to the 14 for a gain of 7. And again, Jay, New Hanover staying on schedule. By the way, partner, Morton, who didn't have a whole lot of action coming in, just a 10th grader.
Yeah, the
Gee whiz.
youth will be served, right? And there's
he's a good-looking sophomore, isn't he?
a lot of young players out here. A lot of young players all over the area this year that performed well, but you're seeing several here tonight.
2nd and 3, ball at the 14. Handoff up the middle.
Ooh.
Big hit. Jay, guess who? 38.
Yeah.
Garrett Frazier was the first Cougar to get to him. Bo Cook was also around the ball. A loss of 2 yards back to the 16-yard line. That was a huge defensive play by South Brunswick. You know, on 2nd and 3, you stop them for a loss of 2, and boy, 3rd and 5 is far from automatic. New Hanover with a critical 3rd down here. 3rd and 5. Ball is at the 16-yard line of the Cougars.
Yeah, huge play that time by Frazier. He and Bo Cook are maybe as good a 1-2 linebacker combination in the league.
Demick looking for his receiver, number 11, Declan Brady, the junior wide receiver. Demick and Brady could not connect, and that will set up a 4th and 5. And, Jay, there's some personnel changes, so I believe Coach Demick and the Wildcats are going to attempt a 33-yard field goal here with 9:51 left before halftime.
And if that's the case, who's going to take a shot? I think it's Novotny, 81. Has not attempted a field goal this year, but made 7 of 8 point after. Got it up.
Novotny's kick is up, looks
good.
straight, and it is good. A 33-yard field goal by number 81, Ben Novotny. The holder was number 9, David Collins. So, Jay, each team has had a field goal attempt. New Hanover executed its try. South Brunswick wasn't able to get a kick away, and that's the difference so far tonight. The Wildcats strike first. New Hanover with a 3-0 advantage. 9:46 left in the second quarter. Early impressions, Mr. Combs.
Well, listen, both teams kind of going hard at each other. Seems like South Brunswick has dominated much of the game, and yet now you look on the scoreboard in a beautiful picture of the field here, and it's a 3-0 New Hanover lead. So Wildcats kind of persevered a rough start and kept their heads above water here and are currently in the lead by the field goal. Sam, it's Military Appreciation Night here, and you can see you see it at various times this evening, but the American flags are flying everywhere. They had a couple of fly-ins early on tonight, bringing the football and flying flags in, and
Jay,
really nice evening here at South Brunswick.
They've even got the flags down on the bleachers on the field,
Everywhere.
you know, where the players sit. So New Hanover kicks off, fielded cleanly by Harrell. Oh,
Nice.
he tried to find the edge, but he wasn't getting around Devin Pelham there, the senior defensive back-end receiver, who obviously also excels on special teams, brings him down at about the 22-yard line, and South Brunswick's offense comes on the field. Jay, it feels to me like South's offense has played a little better than 0 points, you know, in the first 14-plus minutes, but it's clear what the plan was, and that was to try and attack New Hanover in the air, through the air.
Which is surprising. Not that South can't throw the football, but, you know, when you got the area's leading rusher, you kind of think he's going to carry the ball a lot.
And, Jay, you know, that doesn't look like much there, but that's a 6-yard gain on 1st and 10. Boy, South Brunswick could take that all night as Danny Parker. Boy, he's just strong, man. He's a good high school football player.
You know, he's one of those running back, feed me. He'll never not, you know, want the ball. And he can wear you down.
And South Brunswick,
There he goes.
a dose of Parker here.
Just a tough kid.
From the 28 to the 46-yard line, a gain of 18 after gaining 7 on first down. So 2 carries, 25 yards for Danny Parker on this drive, and South Brunswick has a 1st and 10 at its own 46-yard line.
Sam, you know these things so much better than do. Is he a wrestler, Danny Parker?
I don't think
know.
so.
I don't know, man.
No, Jay, he's a basketball player. Remember? He was on the basketball team.
Danny?
Yes, lefty.
Doggone.
100% sure. Remember it vividly.
RPO, looky here.
Parker upended it about the 48-yard line. Ruled down at the 47. So 4 and 3, another 7-yard gain on first down, and now it's the Cougars moving the ball on the ground.
Well,
Jay, maybe the plan was to soften them up early and then start feeding the beast.
No wonder Parker runs so good. He's a basketball player.
This time, Parker is brought down right at the 45-yard line. That's going to set up a 3rd and 1. And Jay, are we thinking 2 plays here to get 1 yard, or does it all depend on what happens here?
Well, far be it from Sam and Jay to think for Rocky Lewis. But
Exactly.
yeah, I kind of think this is 4-down territory. Maybe don't even need it.
Oh, no.
They're going to need it.
Yeah, Jay, that might change the
That
equation
could
just a
change it.
little bit.
Yeah, you're
Prince faked the handoff and kept it on a read option play, lost a couple yards, and so now South Brunswick faces a 4th and 3 from the 47.
No, they're going to kick.
Oh, man. You know, Jay, I got to tell you, we've seen Rocky Lewis do this before. I thought he would leave the offense on the field and at least try to draw New Hanover off sides. But, again, he knows a heck of a lot more than I do.
Well, if you're going to fake it, this isn't a bad place to do it, right? They're not faking.
Did not fake it. It's a short-ish kick angled at around the 20, and it hops out of bounds just inside the 20-yard line at the 19. So from the 47 to the 19, a 28-yard punt, but more importantly, it rolls out of bounds inside the 20-yard line of New Hanover. A good job by the South Brunswick punt team and senior punter Noah Harrell to pin New Hanover back deep. So, Jay, after New Hanover had its first successful offensive possession of the night, their last drive, let's see what the Wildcats can cook up here.
You know, Sam, that wasn't a bad call by South either. They had run Parker 4 straight times, and he's their horse. But tried to fake it to him and keep it, but New Hanover was up to it.
Oh, Jay, that's
gonna
Morton.
Be a race.
And he got a good block upfield. Parker brings him down. Perhaps a touchdown saving tackle by number 3, Danny Parker. From the 19 to the 50, Jay, is 31 yards plus another, let's see where it's marked, the 40. So what do we got? 31 plus 10, 41 yards on the gain by sophomore tailback Caden Morton. And, boy, talk about flipping a field offensively. New Hanover went from way backed up to, threatening. And that is a different back this time.
That's Shand.
22, Shand. Mason Shand. Jay, guess what? Another sophomore.
Yeah, he's we're going to call Morton the field flipper when he rockets out for 40-some yards as quickly as he did. So,
Jay, hear me out real quick.
I'm hearing.
On a play like that to Mason, is it a Shandoff?
Yeah, it could be.
A Shandoff to Mason.
It could be.
I like it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, partner.
I expect we'll see a lot of Shandoffs before that young man's career is over. Here's another one now.
Here's another one. Now this time he ran into a number 61, Rashad, not Rashan, McNeil, and McNeil brought him down at the, we'll call it the 32-yard line. So a gain of 3 by Shand after a Shand gain of 5 on first down. And, Jay, a big set of plays coming up here, 3rd and 2 from the 32. New Hanover in a situation very similar to what South just faced on the other end with a 3rd and short. And depending on the result of this play will probably dictate what they do on 4th down.
See who wins that battle up front.
Oh, gutsy. And what a play. Bishop Brown, number 5, Bishop Brown gets his hands up and knocks down Dimmick's pass. Jay, what are they? It's usually for pass rushers, but Brown in this case, if you can't get there, get your hands up, right? And he batted it down.
Bishop did a great great job that time. And that's, again, we mentioned it earlier, I hope. South can put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Those linebackers are active, the big guys up front, and then you saw Bishop Brown come from his outside linebacker position, so sets up a important 4th down situation here.
Heavy package by New Hanover, and before the snap, South Brunswick's coaching staff wanted to talk about it, so Rocky Lewis calls for a timeout with 5:26 left here in the second quarter. Jay, a critical juncture in this ball game. New Hanover trying to drive down and potentially take a 2-score lead in the first half, and South Brunswick a play away from forcing a turnover on downs and giving the ball back to their offense. Well, Coach Dimmick, what play call are we thinking here? Are we keeping it on the ground with Shand or Morton, or are we gonna let Senior Allen throw it around?
I think I'd try to get that ball into the hands of Morton this time. He ran the ball so well on this particular drive. Of course, South is figuring the same thing probably. So Rocky and Dylan will, a battle of their coaching wits here.
That's right.
You got two of the real good ones around to do it.
Jay, I feel like no one would ever expect you to come out and do the hard count, the fake snap, after a timeout. So maybe not a bad time for, to try and draw offsides and get a freebie.
Tell you what, 22 guys up on
and
the line.
They got them.
And they got them.
Coach Dimmick and I were on the same wavelength right there, partner. A hard count. Offsides penalty against South Brunswick, and Jay, the defensive lineman, didn't move much. He just kind of fell over into the neutral zone, and it was enough to draw the whistle. Jay, is that one of those in college where you can jump back, like as long as they don't snap it, you can kind of lunge but get back before the snapper, as at the NFL?
Kind of like a fake.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're back out of the neutral zone by the snap, it's no flag. I just can't remember. I know that's the case in the NFL. So 1st and 10, ball at the 27-yard line. It's the sophomore Morton again. Oh, let me get a number. Bo Cook. Don't even need to see a number. I saw him get up. A good tackle there holds Morton to a gain of 1 yard. It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 26-yard line. 5:05 left before halftime here in Bowling Spring Lakes.
Yeah, Bo Cook, the leading tackler for South Brunswick, maybe the leader in the area. I don't know. 44 total tackles coming into tonight's game for Shelton. 3 sacks as well. So big senior year for Bo Cook. There's the pressure.
Oh, Jay, was his knee on the ground?
Yeah, I think it was.
It was.
Otherwise, he may still be running. So break for South Brunswick on that one, Sam. Then they picked up the flag, whatever the flag was.
The ref meant to throw his beanbag or blow his whistle that it was down, and he threw the flag instead. So
just throw something. Huh?
No, Jay, and not only was it a break for South Brunswick, and that Pelham had a lot of running room, he caught it behind the line of scrimmage, and that was a loss of 4 yards there on that pass play from the 26 back to the 30.
That's like my high school career. Most of my passes were for losses, right? So Allen's going to do a lot better.
Don't let him fool you, folks. 5 wide receiver set. Oh, number 42, Shelton Bocook got his paw up there and batted it down. So an incomplete pass on 3rd down sets up a 4th and 13. Ball is at the 30-yard line of South Brunswick.
Boy, what just a really alert, athletic play by a big kid, Shelton Bocook, 6'2", 215, but, showing his athletic ability. He plays some tight end, too. He can catch the football, and almost caught one there. South needs to knuckle down on this play.
4th and 13. New Hanover needs about the 17-yard line. Ball picked off by number 3. Danny Parker stepped in front of the receiver, number 4, Lorenz Jordan, and intercepted it. Jay, it's one of those, how do you tell a high school kid to do this and they react and make a play? But South Brunswick would have been better off if Parker slaps that one down to the ground and they take over at the 30. They lose about 27 yards of field position, but again, you see college kids make that play. I've seen guys in the NFL make the same play Parker just did. It's just it's a really hard thing to
I think,
recognize in real time.
I think Parker maybe made it even better, to be honest with you. It's a great catch.
So, Jay, I don't know how much that's going to be an offsides penalty against New Hanover. I don't know how much college football you saw last weekend, but Oklahoma was in a tight game with Nebraska.
They were.
And there was a situation very similar to that. Nebraska had a 4th down around the 30-yard line, try to pass toward kind of the front pylon, but closer to the 5-yard line. I'll finish the story right after this 1st and 5 snap and hand off to Parker. He tries to turn the corner and was successful, brought down at the probably 12.5-yard line, going to be very close to the 1st down marker. And, Jay, the Oklahoma defensive back made one of the best interceptions I've ever seen. He reached back and one-handed it, but fell to the turf at about the 3 or 4-yard line. And, again, if it would have been incomplete, Oklahoma would have got the ball near the 30. And Lincoln Riley, after the game, he said, "I've never thought so seriously about challenging my own team's interception." Jay, he broke it.
This.
Knocked down right at the 30-yard line. A good open field tackle, but a big gain of about 18 yards by Danny Parker. Jay, he's got to be over 50, 60 yards rushing here in the early going.
Well, yeah, the area's leading rusher before tonight, and he's certainly done nothing to hurt that. And that interception was his 2nd INT of the year. Sam, when you start looking at kids in the league this year, I hate to say it this way, but, one of those pound-for-pound deals, this kid may be as good as it gets. Parker.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he plays offense, he plays defense. He's just so doggone good.
And a baseball player. This time he's met by Jacobs and company. Oh, I thought he lost the ball momentarily, but that must have been a hand flying or something.
I think their first game of the year, sorry, Sam, didn't mean to interrupt you, but their first game of the year, which I believe was Richland's, it was either the Richland's game, I think it was Richland's. He carried the ball like 33 times. Just keep
He's
giving
a horse.
it to me. He is.
And Jay plays almost every snap on defense.
I know. That's why they list him as an athlete. And, indeed, he is the epitome of athlete at the high school level.
Sorry, partner. New Hanover wants a timeout before this 3rd and 7 snap from the 33-yard line. South Brunswick needs to reach its own 40-yard line for a 1st down. 2 minutes, 48 seconds showing on the game clock. So, not quite 3 minutes left in the first half. And, Jay, for a 3-0 ball game, it's been awfully entertaining first half.
Yeah, and a quick first half, too. With, as you mentioned, only 2:48 to go here before halftime. I think this is a critical possession for South Brunswick. I think the Cougs will feel a whole lot better if they could go into the halftime break at least tied, if not ahead. But New Hanover's got something to say about that, and they have pretty much this thus far tonight in the first half.
So 3 receivers to the top of the formation. Abrams, the tight end, to the bottom of the set. Screen.
Nope.
It was a screen, and New Hanover's number 20, Zacoby Rhodes, was all over it. So Prince astutely just kind of fired it at the feet of Abrams and will live to fight another day. So a 4th and 7 now from the 33-yard line. And South Brunswick brings on its punt team. And Jay, New Hanover was a little concerned that South Brunswick was going to catch them with 12 men on the field as they were trying to make substitutions. So the Wildcats called for a timeout with 2:45 left in the second quarter.
You know, that was a really good incomplete pass by Prince because Sam he tried to force that ball that time. Number 20, as you mentioned, Zacoby Rhodes was in great position to make a play. So now if you're New Hanover, you've got a good chance of getting the ball back in reasonable field position. Number 7, Gunnar Robinson, who we know is a pretty good athlete on his own, back to return the kick.
Good snap. Good low driving kick. Boy, what a punt.
There's a kick.
Ball was snapped from the 33 and rolls dead at the 9. So 41-17, a 58-yard punt by South Brunswick's Noah Harrell. 58 yards and down at the 9-yard line. And a big, big play on special teams by the South Brunswick Cougars, and New Hanover again backed up inside its own 20-yard line. This time, in fact, inside its own 10 to start this possession. Boy, the field position battle has been really dominated by the Cougars in the first half.
It sure has. And, you know, I'm talking about New Hanover making a big special teams play. Turns out it was South that made the big play. Let's see if they can make something out of it.
Boy, New Hanover just going in these heavy sets with, you know, 2 tight ends or 3 tight ends and an extra offensive lineman and just trying to own the line of scrimmage. That was a good gain of about, what, Jay, from the 9 to the 16, 7 yards on first down to set up a 2nd and 3, maybe a long 3, short 4.
Some big bodies up front, Sam, and you're right. They are all bunched in.
Another running play. That's going to be enough for first down yardage. Ball carrier marked down at the 20-yard line, and New Hanover just needed the 19 for a first down. So the Wildcats, Jay, the Wildcats running game at least has really settled in here in the second quarter after really struggling to find its rhythm in the first.
Yeah, that first quarter in particular, I think that continuity that we had talked about, the lack of repetitions showed up, but they've kind of settled down since then. They're just playing a good defensive team that's not going to give up a lot of points. And there's a flag.
Late flag.
And that's probably going to go against New Hanover. Two guys push and only one guy gets caught.
Yep. Personal foul penalty against New Hanover. So, boy, Jay, that kind of changes the complexion of this drive right before halftime. I think New Hanover was kind of content with just running it a handful of times and letting the game clock, just kind of trickle toward halftime. But now the half the distance to the goal penalty is going to push them to what? Back to about their own 12, maybe 13?
Going to take them back quite a way, Sam, that's for sure.
He's still walking. Back to the 11. So it's going to be 1st and 19.
I guess no penalty is, penalty is bad, but there's some, really bad penalties.
That's the third 15-yarder on New Hanover tonight. 2 personal fouls and a horse collar tackle.
Yeah, that one hurt the Cats. Now what we got?
There was some confusion as to the down, Jay.
Okay.
The play there where the personal foul happened did count. So it's 2nd down and 19, not first. Handoff again right up the middle. And, Jay, now I'm wondering if Rocky Lewis is going to call his timeouts and at least force a New Hanover punt. He is. So decent yardage on a 2nd and 19 play, but New Hanover still about 13 or 14 yards shy of a first down. They'll have a 3rd, and we'll call it 14 with 1:12 left before halftime. South Brunswick does have 1 timeout left, so if New Hanover keeps this ball on the ground, partner, and South Brunswick stops them short of the first down marker, I expect South to burn that 3rd timeout and force a New Hanover punt. South Brunswick trying to tie the game or perhaps take the lead on its maybe final possession of the first half if they can get the ball back here.
Well, at least they'd like to, have that opportunity, right? So it depends on how they do on this play, and maybe stop the clock, as you said, Sam, and get the ball back in time to run a play or two, and perhaps give Harrell a chance to kick a field goal.
I formation. It is 3rd and 13. Ball's at about the 17. Handoff to Shan up the middle. He's brought down right about the 20-yard line after a gain of 3, and Rocky Lewis indeed calls his 3rd and final timeout of the first half. 1:04 left here in the second quarter. So with a 4th and 10 from their own 20-yard line, the Wildcats will assuredly bring on the punt team and try to get away a good kick. And remember, Jay, South Brunswick sends number 3, Danny Parker, back to return punt. So, boy, priority number 1, get the kick away. Priority number 2,
don't kick it to
bring him to the turf somehow.
Yeah.
If he gets his hands on it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't kick it anywhere near him.
Yeah, keep the ball away from Danny Parker.
No, he's not. He's
Bishop Brown going
They're
back.
going to send Bishop Brown back.
He's capable too, Sam. So
they're going to send kind of a up man too, number 12, Mark Bishop. Oh, no, he's going to. Jay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope, it's 11. South Brunswick going to come after it. They did, but New Hanover gets it away.
pretty nice kick.
Fielded cleanly by Brown. And a good job by the New Hanover coverage team. Man, that was textbook there. They kind of had him bottled in on each side and pulled him down at the 46-yard line. But, Jay, with 53 seconds left and the clock stopping after first downs, that's plenty of time for South Brunswick to get into position for either a Noah Harrell game-tying field goal or perhaps a go-ahead touchdown late in the first half.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of range Harrell has. I do know he's been a kicker here for a long time, and 14 of 17 points after 0 for 1 field goals. Well, I guess 0 for 2 after the earlier miss tonight.
Prince drops back to pass, fires a corner route. He caught it. Big-time catch by number 17, Michael Shrewberry, the junior wide receiver, catches it and falls down to the turf at the 28-yard line, a gain of 19 yards. And, Jay, the game clock is moving. South Brunswick trying to get a play in. Oh, Jay, the ball was caught, but he's inbounds. The game clock is going to continue to run. Nice completion under pressure that Prince got.
He needs to clock it or throw it out of bounds. There you go.
A good job by sophomore quarterback, Jamison Prince, getting under center and clocking it to stop the game clock with 21.9 seconds left in the first half. And, Jay, that's going to set up a 3rd and 6 from the 24-yard line. South needs the 18 for a first down. Good pass protection. Good throw by Prince. He's got running room. Tackled inbounds, so South Brunswick's got to get on the ball here.
It'll stop the clock because of moving the chains, but, yeah, they got to get up over the ball. And they're clearly in field goal range now.
Yep, there it is. Boy, man, this is not a 2-minute drill, but a 53-second drill being executed beautifully
by
the
grader,
South Brunswick Cougars.
By a 10th grade quarterback. Right now, some would argue, hey, look, he's got 4 games under his belt, so maybe he's not a 10th grader anymore. I don't know, but he sure plays like a experienced seasoned quarterback.
Ball marked at the 12-yard line. So, Jay, the game clock is down to, we'll call it 11 seconds. So, 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line with 10.9 seconds left in the game. What you can't do if you're South Brunswick is take a sack or get tackled inbounds shy of the first down marker.
That's right.
Those are the two things you have to avoid, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, if Prince sees any pressure at all, if in fact they're going to throw the football, and he's got to get rid of it quick. And as you said, Sam, got to throw it out of bounds or make sure nobody else is going to catch it if his guy can't, because they don't have a timeout to call to get the kick team on, so it's going to have to be quick.
So
they're looking for
yep, offside's not going to be called. 2nd and 10 from the 12. Prince gets the shotgun snap. He's got a man. Oh, man, just over the head of number 17, Michael Shrewberry, and the play took, 4.5 seconds to develop. So with the ball at the 12-yard line and a 3rd and 10, South Brunswick's going to go ahead and bring on the field goal team. Jay, remember, South had a field goal attempt in the first quarter, and they couldn't get the kick away. So holder, number 21, Nate Parker. Number 10, Noah Harrell, handles the place kicking duties. Good. Oh, Jay, they didn't get it down on the tee. It's a live ball. That's a live ball, partner. That's a live ball. And a good job by Noah Harrell, the kicker, getting back and to knocking Jacobs out of bounds. So, boy, Jay, New Hanover or South Brunswick well within Noah Harrell's field goal range twice in the first half. And couldn't quite get the kick away the first time, had that one blocked. And we are going to take a halftime break on your ATMC TV Game of the Week. We'll be back with the second half. And we're almost set for the start of the second half between the visiting New Hanover Wildcats and the South Brunswick Cougars here in Bowling Spring Lakes. New Hanover carried a 3-0 halftime lead into the locker room. And partner, particularly in the second quarter, both teams moved the ball well. There's just hasn't been many points to show for it.
Yeah, it's a kind of a weird game, don't you think? I mean, the field goal by New Hanover, Novotny, representing the only points of the night, 2 field goal opportunities for South, and they weren't on either occasion able to even get the kick off. So an odd game in many reasons, or many respects. I'm kind of hoping that things get a little cleaner here in the second half. Both teams capable of scoring, and both teams capable of defending. And so far this evening, it's been a defensive battle.
A short kick down the middle of the field for South Brunswick, bobbled momentarily, but then picked up by the New Hanover return man. Trying to get a number there. I believe it was number 24, R.J. Simon, the junior slot receiver, who fielded the kickoff and returned it to the New Hanover 34-yard line, where the Wildcats will start the first possession of the second half with a 1st and 10.
Looks like they've gone back to Moore, Isaac Moore, quarterback.
Was Moore that took the first snap at quarterback of the second half. And the ball carrier, who's under about 16 South Brunswick players, was 26, Caden Morton, the sophomore. Jay's listed as a defensive back only on the roster, but he's been the lead back in the Wildcat backfield so far this evening.
For sure, and he's run hard, and he's run very successfully behind a pretty big New Hanover offensive line.
6 yards on that first down carry by Morton. It'll be 2nd and 4 from their own 40. Man in motion, that's Pelham. Moore's going to keep it, and Moore's got a little running room. He's across the 45, dropped at the 42-yard line for a gain of the 47, a gain of 7 yards and a New Hanover High School first down.
Yeah, Demarius Wise and Bo Cook that time in on the stop. But that offensive line for New Hanover is seemingly starting to take a little bit of control here, having their way with the front of the South defensive line.
1st and 10 at the New Hanover 47. That's Simon on the fake give. Moore keeps it up the middle and maybe picked up a yard to the 48-yard line to set up a 2nd and 9. We're already approaching the 10-minute mark of the third quarter as New Hanover has run 3 or 4 running plays to start the second half. And, Jay, that was really the only place New Hanover found success offensively in the first half, was keeping it on the ground with Morton, Shand, and a little bit of number 8, Isaac Moore.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a nice play by Basil Abram that time to catch Moore before he really got going.
Simon's going to keep it this time, and he eludes one tackler, but can't quite get to midfield. So back-to-back plays of New Hanover picking up 1 yard sets up a 3rd and 8 from the 49-yard line of the Wildcats.
Well, I tell you what, some good athleticism that time by the South Brunswick defense. They laterally moved quite well that time and stopped the outside, so sets up a 3rd down situation for the Cats.
3rd and 8. Dimmick fakes a handoff. Fires a pass to Pelham. Oh, boy, and he had beat his man on an in-breaking route. Pass was a little bit high, but catchable, and it falls to the turf incomplete, setting up a 4th and 8 from near midfield, and New Hanover brings on its punt team.
Well thrown ball that time, Sam.
It was.
And pretty good defense that time by Hallett, but sets up the punt situation for the Wildcats.
A wobbly kick. It hits a New Hanover player and then very nearly a South Brunswick player before it is down right at the 20-yard line. So a 31-yard punt by New Hanover. The New Hanover coaches, Jay, were running up and down the sideline yelling at their guys to jump on the ball, and it did hit someone, but it was a New Hanover player.
Well, I'll tell you what,
it
came real close to hitting number 9, Brantley Baker, 6'1",
sure did.
Sophomore for South, and a couple of his teammates pulling him away from the ball.
And he's just a 10th grader, Jay. That's something, learn over time.
Stop,
find the ball, and run in the other direction.
See what the Cougs can do here.
They're going to keep it on the ground. Parker got away from the initial hit before he was dropped by Jacobs and Robinson. And Jay, number 86, who I don't have on the roster, playing defensive tackle. I don't have an 86, but he was also in on the tackle.
The only one we have that doesn't have a number is Dave Collins. He could be him right now.
Oh, Parker's got room. Makes Jacobs miss before he's brought down by number 7, Gunnar Robinson. But a good game by Danny Parker across the 25 to the 27-yard line, and it looks like South Brunswick needs the 30 or maybe just past it for a first down, so it's going to be a 3rd and 3 and a big one here with 8 minutes left in the third frame.
Sam, a player I have not or I don't remember seeing tonight for South is number 6, Antoine Thompson, a 5'9" running back who's had a real good first 4 games. They could use him right now.
Oh, Prince was pressured.
Nice.
He's got a man. 17, Shrewberry pushed out of bounds at the 47-yard line. A gain of 20 yards and a South Brunswick first down.
Yeah, it's just a nice effort by Prince that time, evading the pressure, getting outside, and delivering a strike to his favorite receiver. Nice effort by a young 10th grade quarterback, folks. He's kind of learning this thing on the fly and doing a really good job of it.
Look how patient he was just there, but it didn't work out that time as he had nowhere to go. It was Cornelius Allen and David Collins who wrapped up Parker right at the line of scrimmage. Thought maybe he had lost yardage there, but he did get back to the line of scrimmage to set up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Allen's been very active tonight on special teams, and of course the linebacker you talked about, he's been one of the stars of the team. Jacobs coming into the game.
Pass complete to Abrams. He was upended by Robinson and down at the 49-yard line. So the pass complete from Jamison Prince to Basil Abrams, a gain of 2, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 8, ball at the 49-yard line. 6 minutes, 50 seconds left here in the third period.
Boy, Abrams doing a pretty darn good job of first catching the ball and then maintaining possession as Gunnar Robinson.
Kind of right as he turned to make his move upfield, Robinson hit him low and upended him. So Prince, Rocky Lewis is going to call a timeout with the play clock winding all the way down to about 2 seconds. And the timeout was called with 6:31 left in the third. New Hanover 3, South Brunswick 0. New Hanover looking to earn its 2nd win of the 2021 fall season, and this would a win tonight would make New Hanover 1-0 in Mid-Eastern Conference play. And Jay, on the flip side of that coin, South Brunswick trying to remain undefeated. The Cougars entered this game 4-0 and really dominating most of their opponents, and a win tonight would improve the Cougars' record to 5-0 overall, and maybe most importantly, Jay, 2-0 in Mid-Eastern Conference play with a pair of wins over Topsail and New Hanover.
And understand that the Hoggard's up at Topsail tonight, I think, and at the half it was tied or close to it.
Yep, 0-0.
Yeah, so
yep.
West Brunswick over at Ashley, they're having a game, 14-13. They were down a point. Oh. Oh, that's
Boy,
one
Jay,
that
I thought they might get it. The New Hanover player for a late
Basil.
hit there. Abrams was open.
Yeah, he'll catch that more times than he won't. That time just couldn't bring it down. So punt situation for South.
Jay, let's see, when would it have been? Asher is a sophomore in high school. I guess he would have been about 10. Basil Abrams was almost the size he is now, playing youth football at 10, 11 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
Or 12. I guess he would have been about 12. I mean, he was huge and tough to stop. Fair catch by number 7, Gunnar Robinson. The ball is spotted down at the 15-yard line with 6:20 left in the third.
Well, another pretty good kick that time by Harrell. And New Hanover gets it at the 15. Not great field position, but something to work with here. Let's see what they can do on this second possession of the second half.
And, Jay, the first 2 drives of the third were kind of a microcosm of the whole first half.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was some, they moved the ball. Each team got a couple first downs, but eventually had to kick it away as New Hanover picks up about 4 yards on 1st and 10.
No real big plays at all here this evening, Sam. What was the one run?
Morton had a 41-yard run.
That's about it.
From the 19 to, into South Brunswick territory. And then Danny Parker's had maybe 2 or 3 runs between 15 and or 12 and 20 yards, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Couple nice pass plays from Prince to Shrewberry for 20. Oh, a reverse to Pelham, Jay. New Hanover's got to play if he can get there.
Oh,
Boy, what a play.
Who was that?
Bo Cook.
Yeah.
Chased him down. Boy, it looked like Pelham had all kinds of room until Bo Cook chased him down on the far sideline and dropped him at the 23-yard line. So only a gain of, 4 yards, setting up a 3rd and 2 from the 23.
Absent Bo Cook's play on that, I think that ball carrier is still going.
Run up the middle. Jay, it's going to be so close.
Yep.
It's going to be so close. I think he got it.
Yep, they're not even measuring,
He did.
Sam.
It was a first down, so New Hanover just needed the 25-yard line for a first down, and that's exactly where Morton was marked down. So a new set of downs for the Wildcats. 1st and 10, ball marked at their own 25.
Big Luke Caldwell, Case English, Memphis Simmons.
Memphis Simmons?
Yeah, Memphis Simmons.
Love it.
Junior.
Love
Big boy
it.
in the interior.
That's Morton again, and then he's stopped by pretty much the entire South Brunswick defensive line there, including number – there is 74 out there? Might just be seeing – 34. That was Jack Early, the freshman inside linebacker there in on the tackle. Boy, he's playing varsity early, Mr. Jack. 2nd and 9, ball at the 26.
I just got what you meant, Jack Early. Nice.
Throwback screen. And it's Devin Pelham.
Got some room.
And he's got some running room, and he is thrown down at the 39-yard line. A gain of 13 yards and another New Hanover first down.
Nice call that time by New Hanover. And
sure was.
It's like the Cats, again, Sam, as we talked early on tonight, the fact that, one of the things that has really been a problem for them this year, not their fault, but they just haven't been able to get in any kind of a routine. They're in a good routine now.
And we have a flag on the play as well.
Might be blocking from behind. We'll see.
We will wait on the call from the white hat. It was 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. The flag is laying, at about the 39. And, Jay, they're signaling it will be against the Wildcats. Holding against the offense. Looks like they're going to mark it. Oh, boy, Jay, it was marked all the way back to the 31-yard line. So Yeah, well, marked off from the.
We'll take
Ball's at the 26, rather. Sorry, 26, and they need the 49. So it is a going to be a 1st and 23.
go back to
They're blowing the whistle to get the down, right? I believe. If you accept the holding penalty, then the down doesn't count. So
yeah,
1st and 23.
They got to throw this one to the New Hanover County line.
Another screen. This time to Mason Shan. Jay's got some running room still on his feet. Bulling his way to the 44-yard line. A gain of 18 yards on 1st and 23. And, boy, that's a way to get back on schedule if you're the New Hanover offense. So 2 screen plays on this drive, one to Pelham for 13 and one to Shan for 18. And New Hanover has a 2nd and 5 at its own 44.
Boy, a much more manageable down and distance situation with the good screen pass. You know, a lot of pressure up front by South Brunswick, and the screen, the draws can work against that pressure. It worked that time for sure.
Shan again, he's got a little crease, and New Hanover 2 plays ago faced a 1st and 23 with the ball at their own 26-yard line. 2 plays later, they've got a 1st and 10 at South Brunswick's 48. So the Wildcats got 24 and 2, 26 yards on the last couple of plays. Both touches by Mason Shan, one a screen catch and the other a handoff up the middle. So New Hanover getting its running or continuing its strong running game here in the second half.
Yeah, Mason Shan runs north-south and really hard.
This time South Brunswick does a better job bottling Shand up. The ball came out toward the end of the play, but Shand was ruled down at the 46-yard line of South Brunswick. It's going to be a 2nd and 8, and Jay, I believe we got an injury timeout. There is a Cougar down on the field. I think that's Abrams.
Yeah, he's getting up, but there was a lot of bodies flying around in the middle of that scrum there that time, and Basil's going to come off on his own, limping a little bit, though. Hopefully he's going to be okay.
He's replaced in the lineup by senior outside linebacker Brendan Hoagland. Good to see him walking off under his own power, Jay, even with a little limp. Hopefully it was just a, kicked in the shin or.
So he was that size when he was like, what, 12?
He may not have been 6'2". He was every bit of 6
boy,
feet,
though.
He was every bit of 6 feet because I stood right beside him, and he was taller than I was.
It's low to bring down, let me tell you.
Jay, I think that was Shand again on the carry, picked up 3 yards to the 43 to set up a 3rd and 5. New Hanover needs the 38-yard line of South Brunswick for a first down.
53 checking into the game. That's Theo Wood, who's had a real good year for South Brunswick from his defensive line position. 31 total tackles, a couple of sacks, 6 tackles for a loss for Wood. Need one right now.
3rd and 5, another screen. Oh, boy, that was a beautiful design, Jay. It looked like he was going to stay in and block. He released the defensive player and then just slipped behind him and stayed on his feet all the way to about the 33-yard line. Gain of about 10 or 12 and another New Hanover first down. Jay, we got an injured Cougar on the turf. Is that Wise?
Yeah, Demarius is down. I think it's a cramp, Sam. In fact, one of the New Hanover kids was trying to help stretch him out. That's pretty good sportsmanship. Yeah, another good call by the New Hanover offensive team and taking advantage of the South Brunswick pressure and getting good yardage off these screens. Wise still down. Hope he's okay.
He is still down, and Jay, he is a big kid,
Big
a
kid.
good player. Good, they're helping him up.
Yeah, 6'2",
Good.
6'2", 285. Only a junior, so this guy's still growing.
Jay, we haven't talked about this much, if at all, tonight. But boy, Rocky Lewis has certainly paid his dues here, and he has taken some on the chin to Hoggard and New Hanover, and even West the last couple years. But boy, the job he's done here is one of the most impressive coaching jobs from anyone in southeastern North Carolina.
For sure.
You look up in late September, and they're undefeated. Few plays away from going 2-0 in the conference. It's just, it's amazing what he's done here, and I don't think that's overstating it a bit.
Well, and it very well may be to some extent, Sam, what you were talking about early, the sheer number of kids who have been involved in this varsity program for what seems like forever. And, when you have kids that are able to stay with it for 2, 3, sometimes even 4 years, that's eventually gonna pay dividends for you. And so far this season, that's precisely the case for the Cougars and Rocky Lewis.
Boy, Jay, it's about the third injury timeout of
the last
of this
3 plays.
Yeah, last
right?
3 plays, right?
Yeah.
Or 3 of the last 4 at least.
That's 33. That would be Jaron Frost, defensive end.
We've called his name a time or two tonight. And after the injury timeout, New Hanover's going to have a 2nd and 8 with the ball marked at the 31-yard line.
Cats have had this ball for quite a while on this possession. Sam started at
Sure
their 15, and then they got taken back on a penalty, and they've made it all back, and they're making it
There's
now.
Morton. He's going to turn it up inside the numbers. Brought down inside the 20-yard line at the 19, a gain of 12 and a New Hanover first down. So the Wildcats threatening here with 21 seconds left in the third quarter. New Hanover has a 3-0 lead and 19 yards away from making it a 2-score game. They going to try to get a snap off in the third?
Well, they
Might try
time.
to get them before South's defense gets a chance to, kind of regroup and catch its breath. That's exactly what they do. But this time, South Brunswick ready for the handoff, off tackle to Morton. That is the final play of the third quarter. Morton got from the 19 to about the 17-yard line, so a gain of 2. It'll be a 2nd and 8 when we start the fourth quarter. New Hanover leading by 3 on your ATMC TV game of the week. We're back for the start of the fourth quarter, your ATMC TV game of the week. New Hanover versus South Brunswick here on the campus of South over in Bowling Spring Lakes. Jay Combs, I'm Sam Hickman. Been a fun first 3 quarters. Not a whole lot of points on the scoreboard to reflect that. But, man, both offenses, more than 200 total yards, and just haven't been able to capitalize when they've advanced deep in opponent territory. That pass intended, I believe, for number 11, Declan Brady, hit the turf before it went into Brady's arm, so it will be an incomplete pass and set up a 3rd and 8 from the 17-yard line.
Yeah, good coverage that time in the secondary by South, and it's going to set up a critical 3rd down. Of course, obviously, you're in 4-down territory. The question is if they don't make the first tier, will they go for the first or will they try a field goal? They're within range.
Screen. False start, I believe.
It's not going to help the Wildcats if it is.
It was a false start penalty against the Wildcats. 5-yard penalty. So instead of 3rd and 8 from the 17, it's going to be 3rd and 13 from about the 22. And New Hanover needs to get to the 9 for a first down.
Well, they've had great success with that screen pass, Sam, and it looked like that maybe is what they had called on that play. Let's see if they come back to it now.
Empty formation. Dimick rolls out, throws it to the far sideline, and it is over the head of number 11, Declan Brady. So that's going to be a 4th and 13 from the 22. And, Jay, I don't know if that's in Novotny's range, but New Hanover certainly going to try. Jay, it would be a 39-yard field goal attempt from here, 39-yard attempt.
That was big-time pressure that time from Bocook that really, I think, forced that pass to be incomplete. So Novotny in for a long field goal attempt.
Hold is down, kick is up, and it's no good. Low driving kick, but off the mark, and South Brunswick's defense comes up with a big stop early in the 4th quarter. So New Hanover threatens, moves the ball to the 17-yard line, but the South Brunswick defense comes up big early in the 4th, and now it's on sophomore quarterback Jamison Prince and senior tailback Danny Parker and company to mount a late rally and see if South Brunswick can get on the board and either tie this game or score on a go-ahead drive.
If I'm Danny Parker, I'm just saying, guys, hand me the ball, get on my back, and let me see what I can do. Nothing on that play.
South Brunswick stopped for a short gain on 1st and 10. Ball is marked at the 22, so a gain of 2 for the Cougars.
As I said earlier, Sam, Antoine Thompson, who's had a real good year running the football, 193 yards, a couple of touchdowns, has not played here this evening. I don't know if he's hurt, but his absence has been felt.
Boy, Prince got that one to Parker just in the nick of time, but Parker was dropped at the line of scrimmage there for no gain, setting up a 3rd and 8. South Brunswick needs to reach its own 30-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, not what the Cougs wanted to start out this drive.
Boy, if you're New Hanover, find Shrewberry. It's clear Jamison Prince and Shrewberry have a nice little connection in the passing game. Oh, Collins coming off the edge, and he just had to get rid of it. Can't pin that one on Jamison Prince.
No.
Collins rushed off the edge, timed it perfectly, got around the right tackle, and was about to lay a big hit on Prince before the sophomore quarterback got rid of it and fired an incomplete pass.
Yeah, you know, Sam, the best pass defense sometimes is a good pass rush, and you saw it that time from –
Harrell kicks it away. Another good punt. Robinson going to return this one. He's trying to come back all the way across the field.
Good effort.
A good job of
good
kick
effort.
coverage right there. Jay was the first guy that got there. Was 50. No, is that
Hoagland was in on it.
99.
24 was there, and
Aiden Yunker,
Yeah.
number 88. I think he was the first one who got there and nearly stripped Gunnar Robinson, but Robinson did a good job holding on to the ball before he was brought down at the New Hanover 41.
We only have one turnover tonight, the fumble, right? A couple of close interceptions.
Yep, the one
That's
fumble.
about it, yeah.
That's
so
it.
Tell you what, in a defensive game, that's sort of what you would expect, I guess, that both teams doing a good job of hanging on to the ball.
Here's Morton trying to get around the
Not that time.
corner there, but He couldn't. Maybe picked up a yard to the 42. Yeah, we'll call it 2nd and 9.
Well, you know, New Hanover, again, only playing 3 games on the season thus far, but they came in tonight averaging about 18 points a game offensively, but giving up 21 points a game, and they've certainly turned that around here this evening, at least defensively.
And it was 0-0 halftime, the Hoggard Coxall. We have a shaken up New Hanover player on the play, so they're going to have an official timeout.
9:58 left in the 4th quarter here on the campus of South Brunswick High School. New Hanover 3, South Brunswick 0, but a lot of time left in this one, Jay. And as we've said so often tonight, South Brunswick has moved the ball at different times against this New Hanover defense. Couldn't convert on 2 field goal attempts, one in the 1st quarter, one on the final play of the 1st half. And then in the 3rd quarter, haven't had quite as much success moving the football against New Hanover. New Hanover's had a couple drives stall inside the South Brunswick 20-yard line. So just a 3-0 game. As Jay said, only 1 turnover. New Hanover forced and recovered a fumble early in the contest. But a lot of action in a 3-0 ball game.
Well, you know, right now it's coming down to New Hanover made 1 of 2 field goals, and South Brunswick made 0 of 2 field goal attempts. That's been pretty much all the offense here this evening. But as you say, Sam, still plenty of time to get something going, and neither team really able to bust a big play. So if you came into this game tonight and part of your strategy was to keep the other team away from big plays, then I'd say both teams have been successful.
2nd and 9. Hanover hands it off to Shand. He's got a crease. Falls very, very close to the 1st down marker. Jay, New Hanover needed the 49 of South Brunswick, but I believe it looks like he's a half-yard short to me, but no, they're marking him at the 49. Yep, they call it a 1st down. Boy, initially where the markers were, it looked like he was a little bit short, but
a big 1st down get by the Wildcats. Get the ball out at midfield. Plenty of room to do whatever they want.
Another handoff to Shan, who just got the 1st down carry. So Shan marked down at the 47-yard line, a gain of 2 yards. And Jay, I don't think there's any doubt about it after what we saw in the first 4 games and then through 3+ quarters tonight. South Brunswick's defense is legitimate.
Oh, they're good. They are, and they've only given up the field goal tonight. Ian Dwight was in on that last tackle, but
this time it's Morton, number 26. That's Caden Morton, the sophomore tailback. Boy, Jay, this New Hanover team is young. There are juniors and sophomores just littering this roster, including Shand and Morton, who have been their 2 leading ball carriers tonight.
And they've got some size up front, too, Sam, and they're leaning on those big guys right now.
I mean, there's 9 sophomores listed on the roster, and Jay,
they're playing.
Exactly. Yeah, they're playing. Couple on defense, Shand and Morton on the offensive side.
Not trying to fool you.
Another handoff. New Hanover just lining up and trying to own the line of scrimmage now. From the 47 to the 36, a gain of 11 and a 1st down by Caden Morton. And Jay, time, not running out, but certainly becoming a factor, right? We've got 7:50 showing on the game clock. What do you think?
Well, certainly if New Hanover can continue this drive they got going, and if they can score, then 2 scores might be too much to overcome simply because you don't have enough time left in the game.
Oh, almost brought down in the backfield, but Morton somehow managed to fight his way across the 35 to about the 32-yard line, Jay. What are we're going to call it a 4-yard game, maybe 5? Yeah, well, 2nd and 6 maybe.
You know, New Hanover won their first game this year, 34-7 against Northside Jackson. But then they lost to a team called Carolina Forest, 28-0. Carolina Forest, we know, that's the team from South Carolina that's so good.
Hung 70 on West Brunswick in week 1.
And then a close loss last week against Fike in Wilson, only by 28-21.
Shan up the middle, brought down right at the 30-yard line. So on 2nd and maybe a long 5 or short 6, Shan picks up a couple yards, and it looks like the line to gain is just shy of the 26-yard line of South Brunswick. So it's about 3rd and 3.5 right here, Jay. So, boy, the way they've run the ball since the start of the second quarter, I think you're going to call that play there on 3rd down, and then probably line up and call that same play on 4th down if you don't get it.
And they stayed away from the turnovers.
Well, they're in the shotgun this time, and they're not going to have to run a play.
They picked up the 5.
Boy, that's the second time tonight New Hanover's lined up in a heavy set on a 3rd or 4th and short, and South Brunswick jumped into the neutral zone. So that offsides penalty yardage is going to be enough for a New Hanover first down, a fresh set of downs at the 25-yard line. And Jay, New Hanover also not getting in any hurry to snap the ball. The game clock's all the way down to 6:08. 6:08 left in the contest. 1st and 10. Shand around the left side. That was 44, I do believe. Ian Dwight. No, 41, excuse me. Luke Dilgard. Surely that's the little brother of former South quarterback Roman Dilgard. Dilgard was the quarterback this past spring and the year before that, if I'm not mistaken.
Got to be, at least related for sure. You know,
I don't know a whole lot of Dilgard.
South probably got to start thinking about trying to separate that ball carrier from the ball.
Yep. 5:25 left in the game. 2nd and 10, ball at the 25. Oh, they called a play-action pass. It's picked off! It's picked off! Garrett Frazier might go! Oh, man! A shoestring tackle by Alan Dimmick, and Garrett Frazier with the defensive play of the game so far for South Brunswick. And boy, how quickly momentum can change. Suddenly it's wearing blue, and South Brunswick, after the interception by Garrett Frazier and a 15-yard return, South Brunswick with a 1st and 10 at its own 49-yard line.
We just got finished talking about the fact that New Hanover had stayed away from turnovers through 3 quarters and 3.5 quarters, but Frazier comes up with a big one now. Now it's still up to the offense to get something going.
False start, Jay.
False start, yeah, looked like it. Track race.
I think, no? Oh, yep, it was. It is a false start penalty against the Cougars, so it will be a 1st and 15 with the ball at the South 44-yard line. And, Jay, I don't know about the top of the screen, but on the bottom, it looked like South was running something deep down the field, trying to take a shot there.
It was like a track meet down here.
It was. I mean, all 3 of them just took off down the seam. Prince in the shotgun. There's a screen. He's got room. That's Danny Parker. Makes a man miss. Cuts it back inside. Flag. Some of that's coming back, partner. However, it happened way down the field, so South should get some of that yardage to stick. It's laden at the 40, so if it's marked back to the 50, it would be a 1st and 9. It could be a face mask.
Holding.
Nope, it is holding.
South.
But, Jay, again, at least you got 6 of those yards as it's marked back. If it's from the spot of the foul, it'll be marked back to midfield. And instead of going all the way back 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, they will have, essentially got 6 yards there, and it'll be a second and 9. Yep, or 1st and 9 rather. Sorry, the down will stay at 1st down. It'll be 1st and 9.
These penalties are starting to bunch up on South Brunswick. Illegal procedure, holding on that play, offsides the defensive play a couple back. Cougs got to kind of get it in gear here. A little bit of confusion out on the field.
Coming toward the sideline there,
That's a flag.
and a late hit. Yep. Penalty's going to be called against number 9, David Collins. Boy, Jay, man, that one was tough. It all happened so fast. And truthfully, Jay, I can't even see the sideline from where we're standing, with the players standing right there. So I couldn't tell if Parker was out of bounds or not. But, I will say it happening on the home sideline never helps, with the players right there and the coaches calling for it. But, Jay, it also got thrown by 2 officials.
Yeah.
Typically, they both don't get it wrong,
That's right. You're right, Sam. And that one was that one is we were talking about, some penalties being worse than others. That was one of them for New Hanover because it gives a 1st down to South.
At the 30. Jay, think about this. South Brunswick 30 yards away, with just he might score. He might score. Danny Parker still on his feet. Brought down at the 12-yard line, an 18-yard run. But, Jay, South Brunswick with 4 minutes left, 4.5 minutes left in the ballgame with a legitimate chance to beat New Hanover in football. If I'd have told you that 3 years ago or 2 years ago in 2019 when New Hanover was, competing for state championships, what would you have thought?
I would have thought you were, that's a big leap of faith, right?
No way, Jose, right? Jay, well, I'll try to check on this, but I don't think South has ever beat New Hanover in football. That's Bishop Brown. Look at the surge by the South Brunswick offensive line. It may not have mattered if Brown would have lost his helmet there or not. Parker was coming back in that game somehow, some way. 4:11 left in the ball game. South Brunswick with about a 2nd and 5 from the 12-yard line. Or excuse me, 2nd and 5 from about the 7-yard line. Shrewberry in motion. Bocook in the game at tight end.
And critical to hang on to the ball.
Parker dropped behind the line of scrimmage at the 8-yard line. That was number 47, Donnell Holmes, the junior linebacker. Hit Parker right as he got the handoff.
A big-time hit, Sam. 3rd down. If they can't get it here, what you gonna do?
Going for it after the
they have had a hard time
after the 2 field goal attempts in the first half.
Well, neither of those attempts, they didn't even get kicked, right? So it's just been the execution of the snap and the hold.
Play clock down to 5. 3rd and 6 from the 8. Prince drops back, throws a fade. Very nearly caught in the corner of the end zone by number 17, Michael Shrewberry. And Jay, Rocky Lewis did not hesitate. He is sending his field goal unit back on the field. Ball is at the 8-yard line. It'll be a 25-yard attempt. Number 10, the senior place kicker, Noah Harrell, has more than enough leg. It's just a matter of South Brunswick executing the long snap. And number 21, Nate Parker, getting the hold down. 3:18 left in the game. 25-yard field goal attempt would tie the score. Low snap. He got it down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Give a lot of credit to number 21, Nate Parker, who handled a really, really low snap. And Harrell for stepping in and drilling the 25-yard attempt to tie the score with 3:14 left in the contest. Partner, that was exciting.
That sure was. For a game that has not had a lot of offense, it's that particular hold series, which started with the interception and then getting the ball downfield close enough for the field goal. And Sam, I think you're so right. Nate Parker, nobody had more pressure on him that time than the holder, and he got it down, and Harold got it up, and it's a 3-3 game.
So Pie left on the showing on the game clock. 3.14, of course, we mean 3 minutes and 14 seconds left in the game. South Brunswick going to kick off to New Hanover. Pelham and number 24, R.J. Simon, back deep to return for the Wildcats.
I thought you were going to quote a Bible verse, and you go for a math thing, right? So
Simon fields it cleanly, looking for a crease. And he doesn't have one. Slung down at the 30-yard line by Shelton Bocook.
Yeah, why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Is he a good baseball player?
Bocook?
Yeah.
He was.
He used to play. I don't know if he still plays or not.
in high school, but
I think
he sure was as a youth baseball player.
It don't matter. He's a real good high school football player. I hope he gets a chance to play, that next level. Moore in at quarterback.
Moore in the shotgun, rolls out. Going to tuck it and run. He's going to get sacked for a loss of 3 yards. Back at around the 27-yard line. A good defensive play by the South Brunswick Cougars. And the game clock continues to move with about 2:45 left in the game. Ball marked at the 27, so a loss of 3. It'll be 2nd and 13 as New Hanover hustles back onto the ball. Now it's Demick back in. He's got a man, Devin Pelham. Boy, I tell you, that's a good open field tackle, though, by number 9, Brantley Baker. It looked like Pelham may have a chance to cut back all the way across the field and had some running room. But, again, number 9, Brantley Baker was able to bring him down. But it was a gain, 27 to the 46, 19 yards on the strike from Demick to Devin Pelham. Game clock shows 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Ball at the 46. Wide open. That's Declan Brady. Oh, boy, ball very nearly came out at the end of the run. But the play, 8 plus 4, 12 yards on the strike from Demick to Declan Brady. And now New Hanover is in South Brunswick territory with 2:06 left in the game. New Hanover 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line of South Brunswick.
Well, yeah, Alan Demick has looked really strong on these last 2 throws.
Sack.
Pressure.
Boom. Oh, a flag came in at the very end, Jay, from the side.
I wonder if he had his
face mask. It's a horse collar or a face mask. I saw him signal it to the white hat. It's against South. I saw it signaled. Saw him signal the, yeah, oh boy.
Face
Man,
mask.
what a turn of events that is. Boy, instead of a 4 or 5 yard loss on the sack, it'll be marked off from, where, Jay, the 46 to about the 31?
It's going to be down there a ways, Sam. And
yep. Oh, man. Boy, gosh, games can change just so quickly. So South Brunswick comes up with a huge defensive play. Instead, it's 1st and 10 New Hanover at the 31 with 1:44 left. Attempted screen pass, and Demick just throws it at the feet of number 26, Caden Morton.
Coach's son.
Yep.
Makes a smart play.
Yep, very smart play. Because, Jay, if you try to scramble around there, make something happen, and throw it, it's going to be an eligible receiver downfield.
Yeah, bad things happen,
exactly.
right? You live for another day, and a nice decision by Alan Demick that time. How much further do they have to go to get in the Vodney's range?
Oh, man, very nearly picked off. Yep, number 15, Mason Howlett. That's who I thought it was. I couldn't get a real clean look at the number, but a nice pass defended there by Howlett will set up a 3rd and 10 at the 31-yard line.
You know, Sam, that's one of those, a good offensive play, a good defensive play. I mean, Demick hung in there and delivered the ball well, but Howlett read it perfectly and defends it perfectly.
Pass caught, but a good open field tackle by the South Brunswick Cougars, and they're going to rule that his forward progress was stopped in bounds. So the game clock continues to run, Jay, inside the minute 22nd mark. I'm surprised maybe South Brunswick hasn't called it. Nope, New Hanover's going to call the timeout here before a 4th and 8 play from the 29-yard line. Again, after the New Hanover timeout, it will be a 4th and 8 from the 29-yard line. Jay, what are you thinking if you're New Hanover on offense and South on the defensive side?
Well, you know, if I'm South, I might be willing to bend a little bit, but I sure don't want to break, right? Because they're going to get the ball back if they can defend here and have, you know, maybe a minute or so to try to get down the field themselves. And if you're New Hanover, geez, you got it. Well, you see what you have to try to pick up for the first down, but do you want to really try to just sneak somebody out of there and get behind them in the secondary? No turnover, so I can tell you they don't want that.
4th and 8 from the 29. Demick bobbled the snap. It's a turnover on downs. Alan Demick could not corral the snap and then jumps on it at about the 33-yard line. So South Brunswick gets the stop it so desperately needed. And with 1:10 left in the game, South Brunswick has a chance to drive for the game-winning score. And, Jay, if I'm not mistaken, South Brunswick has at least 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, I don't think they've used many timeouts here in the second half.
Just one when a play clock was running down early in the half, I believe.
So, you know, they've got the whole field to work with. They just have to probably save a timeout if they can get up close enough for a field goal attempt. But that's a big if. Right now, if you're South, worst case, we play a little overtime.
He's got him. He's got a man. Ball nearly stripped, but a great job by Shrewberry to hold on to it inside the 50-yard line. Brought down at the 48, a gain of 19 yards and a South Brunswick first down.
Jamison Prince throws a strike and some pressure, and Shrewberry with another big catch.
New Hanover bringing some pressure. Stop route caught out of bounds at the 42-yard line. A gain of 6 yards will set up a 2nd and 4. Jay, still plenty of time left, 52 seconds left, and a possession to go, or right before halftime, rather. South Brunswick with 53 seconds left, and the ball almost right here easily drove into Howlett's field goal range, or Harrell's field goal range.
Sophomore to sophomore that time.
He's incomplete pass. Jamison Prince overthrows the intended receiver, number 2, Jordan Davis. So that's going to set up a 3rd and 4. Ball at the 42-yard line. South needs to get to New Hanover's 38 for a first down.
You sure want to get these 4 yards, Sam. And you got 2 downs to do it. Pressure. Ooh.
Very nearly intercepted, but it falls to the turf incomplete.
David Collins.
Now let's see what South is going to do with the ball at New Hanover's 42 and 43 seconds left. Jay, I'm almost inclined, the way your defense, specifically your pass defense, has held New Hanover, you know, I'm thinking if you go for it here, you still got confidence your D can prevent New Hanover from getting in scoring range with only 40 seconds left. They are going to go for it. Caught, pass is caught, and it's enough for a first down. Receiver number 12, Mark Bishop, went up and got it and brought it down at the 35-yard line for a first down.
That's the sophomore to sophomore connection they just took advantage of 2 plays ago. Bishop the backup quarterback, a capable receiver as well.
Oh!
Pressure.
Overthrow. Danny Parker tried to get behind the South Brunswick defense, and Prince again got it away just before linebacker David Collins applied a hit. 25 seconds left in the game. South Brunswick has a 2nd and 10, 2 timeouts left, ball at the 35-yard line.
Tell you what, Prince, despite his youth, he hangs in there, man. He's a tough kid. A lot of poise for a 10th grader. They need a play to bust it up. Here it is.
Got him, Abrams!
There it is, Sam.
Jay, well within field goal range now, and 2 timeouts left on the strike from Jamison Prince to Basil Abrams. We saw Abrams drop one earlier. He did not drop that one.
Boy, what
Ball is marked at about the 12-yard line. It would be a 29-yard field goal attempt from here. But, again, 18 seconds and a timeout left for South Brunswick. So let's see if the Cougars, what they're going to do here on first down. Jay, do you position the ball in the middle of the field? Do you give it to Parker and maybe he scores and you don't have to try a field goal? What are you thinking here, offensive coach?
Well, yeah, listen, what I think is no matter what happens, don't put the ball on the turf, right? Don't fumble the ball. Don't give away this excellent position on the field that you have and that you can use to kick a game-winning field goal. They don't need a touchdown to win. They just need some points to win. I think in these situations, and look who's in the backfield, Sam, big 42.
Big 42, Shelton Bocook. First in, it's Parker. He goes down, maybe lost a yard or two. He did lose a couple yards back to the 14. And Jay, South Brunswick calls a timeout with 11.7 seconds left. So now no timeouts left for the Cougars. Like the end of the first half, now you can't get tackled shy of the first down marker or inbounds, or South won't have enough time to get on the ball and spike it to stop the clock. So maybe one shot to the end zone before
I wonder if you go ahead and kick it right now.
Yep.
I think that's the right decision. Too many bad things can happen, right?
Harrell's going to drill it.
So Harrell,
he drilled the only one that South Brunswick, executed on the snap and hold. An accomplished place kicker. He's had game winners before in his career. 11.7 seconds left. Game is tied at 3. If Harrell can make from 31 yards out, South will take a 6-3 lead. There's the snap. Kick. Up. He nailed it. Noah Harrell nailed it. 31-yard field goal. And with 7 seconds left in the game, South has taken a 6-3 lead, stunning the visiting New Hanover High School Wildcats. 2 Noah Harrell second half field goals have staked the Cougars to a 6-3 lead. Jay, did you see this one coming tonight?
Not quite this way, Sam. No, I did not. Boy, let me tell you, and they are hugging number 21, Nate Parker, who did a great job that time. That snap looked a wee bit short, but he picked it up, set it, and then Harrell banged it through. So really, 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 Sam, they're 7 seconds away from winning their 5th consecutive game, they being South. And they didn't play their A game here tonight, I don't think. But yet, they got a really, really, really good chance of winning this football game tonight. And don't they say that about, good teams, even when they're not playing so well, they find ways to win?
Find a way, right?
That may be what's happened here this evening. And, boy, Prince has been just tremendous.
Boy, man, he at the end of the first half, even though South didn't score, he engineered a wonderful drive. And then in the fourth quarter, when South needed it most, with 4 minutes left and then a minute left, he got him into scoring range both times. And Noah Harrell made a pair of fourth quarter field goals as South has taken a 6-3 lead. That was Morton who jumped on the loose ball at the 29-yard line. That play also took about 3 seconds. So one snap, time for one snap for New Hanover. The visitors from Wilmington trail 6-3, and barring the Wildcat miracle, Jay, South Brunswick 4 seconds away from going home victorious.
Yes. South Brunswick and Hoggard. Hoggard was tied at the half, right?
Right.
So we don't
It's
know
all
what
a
they're
mess,
doing.
right?
It really is all a mess.
So, Jay, what do? Throw one of those short passes and try to
Maybe
score
the
on laterals?
hook and ladder or something, or just toss it up, look for a penalty.
Batted up, falls to the turf, incomplete, and the Cougars have stunned the New Hanover High School Wildcats at Jack Campbell Stadium. 2 fourth-quarter field goals by Noah Harrell and a dominant defensive performance by the Cougar D. And the Cougs are 6-3 winners in front of their home faithful. Jay, if I'm not mistaken, the first time, well, I know it's been in 30-plus years that the Cougars have defeated New Hanover in football. What a night. What a special, special night in Bowling Spring Lakes. South Brunswick now 5-0 in first place in the Mid-Eastern Conference at 2-0.
2 field goals in the last 3 minutes of the game after missing 2 field goals earlier. And look at the kids on the field. They're chasing the team.
The student
to the
section
locker room.
is chasing the team.
Yeah.
Jay, here's the question. Do they let them all in to celebrate or no?
I don't think you're going to
Of course
stop them.
not.
You're
yeah,
not going to stop
exactly.
them right now.
Good luck stopping that stampede. Jay, take us away. Final thoughts tonight.
Well, you know, Military Appreciation Night, it started out with flags everywhere and the skydivers bringing a flag and the football in, and it goes out with a dramatic field goal with 3 seconds, 4 seconds to go, and South stays undefeated. Sam, who would have bet that one coming into this year, that after 5 weeks South Brunswick is atop the heap at 5-0.
Jay, we didn't know a whole lot about New Hanover. We're not real familiar with Northside and Fike and even Carolina Forest. So, you know, they're a little bit of a mystery coming in. What will we see from them? Their offense had been a little inconsistent. It was inconsistent again tonight. Jay, to me, the field goals were huge. Prince was unbelievable. Parker, as always, was a stud. The game changed with about 4.5 minutes left. New Hanover had a 3-0 lead, had run the ball about 60 yards total down the field, caught a play-action pass on 2nd down, and Garrett Frazier tipped up Demick's pass, intercepted it, returned it to midfield. That started the first of South Brunswick's 2 scoring drives, and that was the difference.
Well, it all seemed to change. Look at that picture, Sam. The
Boy,
kids,
that's fun.
They're calling the team back out, I guess. Yeah, that's a great observation. It did seem to turn on Frazier's interception. And look, they being South, have played great defense all year long, right? Only averaging 5 points a game defensively. That's going to go down after only giving up 3 here this evening. But they found enough offensively, and this kid Prince, wow, I'm starting to be a believer. I don't know what his stats were tonight, but he threw the ball all around the field and threw it at big times, right? And came up big and got his team in position to win. And Noah Harrell comes in and takes care of business with some help from Nate Parker, who had a couple early issues, but he was there when you needed it, and so was Harrell, and so are the South Brunswick Cougars.
And, Jay, we've also determined tonight that whoever publishes South Brunswick's roster on Max Preps is completely dishonest, because there's no way a sophomore quarterback does what Jamison Prince just did in the final 4 minutes.
He is a keeper.
It was a lot of fun from Bowling Spring Lakes. As always, he's Jake Holmes. I'm Sam Hickman for Nathan Evers and Jacob Godecki. Godek. Jacob, before this season's over, I will get your last name right. Jake Godek, the whole entire ATMC TV team, thank you so much for joining us on your ATMC TV Game of the Week, and we'll see you next time right here. Thanks for joining us.